Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today is Hump Day. It's Wednesday, Stocks Day, midweek show coming at you here. And the title of today's show is the Worst Over? There are still some on X that are calling for doom and gloom, and the bottom is not in, and this is just a bull trap, a dead cat bounce, and we're still going to be going to zero. Well, not technically going to zero, but that's what it sounds like. So we're going to talk about that and a whole bunch more, plus a trade setup that I shared yesterday in the Discord that is absolutely fired off there, and bunch more. But before we do that, of course, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and of course does help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments that you take the time to write. I take the time to read them and respond. So just let's quickly jump over to here. We have Ryan Detrick, CMT. The VIX closed beneath 20 today. Previous 5 times it hit 50, but then eventually closed below 20, were clues the worst was over. Okay, so he certainly thinks the worst is over. I think quite probable, the highest probabilities, and look, I trade the highest probabilities. That's why I have much more wins than losses, very few losses and a lot of wins, because I look to trade the highest probability trade setups to give me the best chance of winning. Okay, and so let's take a look over here at the SPY. And the SPY here did break above that key level. I put that line in the sand for you. I said the 200-day moving average, but I want to see the Fibonacci where we broke down from was actually just above that at about 576. And that's exactly what we got there. We got a break above that. We got a close above that. Not only that, we're above this Fibonacci level here at 585. So if you are looking for a short-term trade on the SPY, that would be a possible entry there on a hold of this 585 level, and then would look to run that up to the 613 level there as you next, I think there would be some resistance, and people want to say, oh, if it gets stuck there, could be a double top. But on the weekly time frame, I still think we have some more juice to squeeze out of this. We haven't even broken above the 80% level on the stochastic RSI. Plus, we just have a bullish crossover on the weekly time frame there. So I do think there is more upside. Of course, if it starts to roll over, I'll be alerting in the Discord there that it's time to get out if we do see a rollover and this does become bearish on the weekly time frame there for the SPY. But so far, I'm seeing good things there on the SPY. I think this has more legs to run. And of course, with this bullish cross on the weekly time frame there on the MACD, that could push us up to the 613 level there on the SPY. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think we can all agree that the bottom is in because we have made a higher high on both the daily and the weekly. But of course, if you've been following here, I've gotten you in pretty much down almost at the bottom. Now, I don't try to pick bottoms because those who pick bottoms get smelly fingers. And so I don't try and pick bottoms, but I usually get them pretty spot on, and I usually identify the tops pretty spot on as well. And I was very transparent how I sold all of my stocks before it dumped. The market dumped, and I was almost fully in cash and was able to buy all of those stocks back a much lower. I gave all of my entries here when they were down at these levels. You can see in the yellow, and they're not, some of them are not quite at the bottom, but that's okay. But I got pretty darn close to that. And so you can see that I have been accurately giving entries for both stocks and crypto. And I think some of these are even higher. I need to update some of these, of course, that have just continued to go higher and higher here. There we go, just continue. And some of these, I'll have to update that later, but these are now all much, much higher. And of course, I gave a trade in the Discord yesterday before the market opened, while the market was still in pre-market, and that was the Coinbase trade. And I gave the entry price at 229. And of course, the target was 252. I also gave a bonus entry for Coin Long at 22 And I shared some of the reasons that I got on that trade. And of course, now what happened? Look what happened. Coinbase hit that target of 252. It actually exceeded that target, and Coin Long got up to 26, and it actually exceeded that as well. And people made a lot of money on that play. In fact, for some people, it paid for the Discord in one day for 10 years. That's how much money they made on the trade. Thousands and thousands of dollars. One trader made $5,000. So congratulations to April, who shared that trade. Absolutely fantastic. And that's what I do, and that's what I love seeing that. And there's a great song by Cat Stevens, Father and Son. And there's a line from that song that really rings true in me and really hits me hard and motivates me every day. And it says this: you may still be here tomorrow, but your dreams may not. Let's make sure that we're still here tomorrow and our dreams are also here tomorrow. And if you want to change something in your life, you've just got to change something in your life. The best person that you can invest in is you. Invest in yourself, invest in your dreams, and find some financial freedom there. And I love our Thunder from Down Under, who didn't know anything about leverage trading at all, joined the channel literally a month or two ago, maybe over a month, didn't know how to do leverage trading at all. And yesterday posted 2 trades, one for 3,400, and one for 6,100. So absolutely fantastic trade. So a big shout out to the Thunder from Down Under. He's retired, by the way. He's retired. So it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to change something in your life. You can invest in yourself there. And I highly encourage you to take those steps to learn, to become a better trader, to join a community where you can learn and you can grow there. My goal is to be relentlessly in this Discord, growing an incredible group of traders and investors that are going to just not only change their lives, but the lives of their family, and for decades and decades to come, for the wealth that they are going to grow because they took the time to educate themselves and invest in themselves. We got a trading signals where I give buy and sell signals. So if I buy a coin, I will say I bought it, this is the price, and then if I'm selling, boom. So if you don't have time to be in the Discord to learn and you simply just want to buy and sell and want to follow my trades, you can do that. Okay, so there it is there. And if you want to join us, then below in the description of this video, you might need to click the more button. It will pop out. There's a link there that you can click on to start in your journey to join the Tribal Trades Discord, one Discord to rule them all. Okay, and I'd love to see you in there. Okay, so let's look. I want to show you why I took the Coinbase setup. So I want you to understand what made me take the Coinbase setup, because remember, Coinbase closed around this $200 level, or just above $200 there, and then the news came out that they're being added to the S&P 500 after market. I think this was on Sunday, and the price pumped. So by the time the pre-market happened, it was already up around this 227 and 229. So it's already pumped. So why would I have taken this trade? I want to show you something here. The first reason I took the trade was because we broke a key area, the 200-day moving average and the 50-week moving average, both around the same area, and the 100-day moving average. And those are the last key moving averages and moving averages to break, those 3. And so that for me was kind of like a last chance to get in a trade if I was going to get in a trade. Now I'm already in Coinbase here. So whereas the stocks trades, I already got Coinbase as low as 146. So I'm already doing well on Coinbase. So I got into Coinbase long, and then I actually added to that Coinbase trade as well. Okay, so, and sure, I averaged up my position, but if the price keeps going higher, who cares? I'll just make more money. I'm already massively in profit from that 146 buy. Now I'm even more in profit because I got the entry there. So that was reason number 1. Reason number 2 is we saw a crossover of the stochastic RSI. This is a bullish crossover when the blue goes above the red. We also saw the same on the RSI and on the MACD. So on the daily time frame, Then also there was an inverse head and shoulders pattern that I identified here. There's the left shoulder, there's the left shoulder, there's the head, there's the right shoulder. And the technical target for that move is actually up to around 305 to around 308. And we could come up to around this level here, and that will complete the technical target for the inverse head and shoulders. Although I did give a target in the Discord of 350 because I do think it can get back to that level. It can go a little bit further, but let's focus on this target. Well, at the end of the day, let's get to 270 first and then push on and see how we get to see what happens with price there for that 305 to 310 level. Now there's more reasons to take this trade. This is why this was the perfect storm of a trade setup and why I gave it right there, and many jumped in there, and then the market opened, boom, everybody made huge profits. Okay, and that's just one of those great trade signals, many great trade signals that I've given in the Discord. Reason number whatever we're up to, 3 or 4, is we just saw the MACD cross over on the weekly time frame. You can see it's gone from red to green, and it's crossing over the red line. That is extremely bullish. You saw the last time it did this down there, Coinbase went from about 170 all the way up to $350, and it's just crossing now. We also still have the bulls in control on the weekly, but we haven't even topped out at the 80% level yet. We haven't even reached there yet. And of course, there's bullish momentum on the weekly time frame as well. So taking all those factors into consideration, it was a great move to the upside. Many people still want to try and jump in this trade, particularly if we do get up to this 270, 305, or even 350, where is a possible entry. Now, we need to be careful here. Now, look, we still technically have this crossover there, and last time that did give us about 100% move, and 100% move here would put us up to $500. Now, I'm not saying that we'll go up to $4 off this move, by the way. And but what I am saying is that I would be surprised if we didn't at least get to this 270 or even at this target of 305 to 310. So I do think there's some more juice left to squeeze here, even though you may have missed this entry at 229. And so I do think, where would I look? The entry points, the possible entry points could be number one at 252 there, and it is in pre-market trading at 259, but it did get as low as 254 in the pre-market. But 252 and 246 would be the two areas that I would look as a possible entry for Coinbase if we do have that. Now, if we get to 270 and we break above that, that might be an entry. But again, the higher we go up, the riskier it gets. It doesn't mean that you can't make money. It doesn't mean that it can't go higher. But I wouldn't want to give that trade now because I don't know what these momentum indicators are going to look like by the time we do get up to 270 there. And there also is a double Fibonacci at 281, and that's actually where we broke down from. So it could be possible that we come up here, we make a higher, make a higher high on the daily time frame there, and then we come back and make a higher low and come back to one of these areas there. So I'm not one to chase price. I wouldn't be jumping in at these levels, even though it could still go up to 270. Of course, it's a free world. You're welcome to take the risks. However, it is a lot more risky now with this trade. So I'd be looking at about 252 and at about 246 there. For Coin Long, that's sitting at around 27 right now. Entries there at 24 and at 25. So those would be the places that I would consider entries there. All right, that is all we have time for today. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. And until the next episode, or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.